Gabby Hanna recently called out people who make fun of her books and poetry, and she went off. And she's still going off. In fact, she's been going off for days and hasn't stopped. It's even gotten to the point where Trisha Paytas has told her to chill. Hello and welcome back to Drama Investigator. Gabby Hanna, the queen of all poetry and the master of all arts.
Maybe I'm the monster!
The icon of the century. Well, how dare the internet tell her that her art is shit? God forbid. She's literally fighting with the entire internet at the moment, anyone and everyone who doesn't agree with her, and it's getting awkward. She's embarrassing herself. It all started when she tweeted this a couple days ago. Because I frankly don't give a F anymore. I think it's really lame that a bunch of non-creative, insecure, neurotypical people drag my poetry for months for views on YouTube and TikTok instead of creating their own art. Gabby then went on to call out other influencers who had made fun of her books, her singing, and anything artistic she's ever done. The first person she came for was YouTuber Rachel Oates. I also just want to say that Rachel Oatmeal took the time to write a book from the perspective of a dog, since I wrote mine from the perspective of an child, to mock me, yet she's still too much of a coward to release under her own name. What a loser, LMAO. She deleted her Twitter when people started calling her out on her manipulative, relentless abuse towards me. You know, like a cowardly loser. Because no one cares about her unless she's talking about me. Literally. This is the part she chose to defend, LMAO. Okay guys, my apologies. She did co-write the book mocking my art about my trauma with her dog. I thought her dog wrote it herself. My bad. Narcissistic abuse is when someone harasses you endlessly, and when you finally stand up for yourself, they tell you you're having a breakdown. You, Miss Oates, are a real monster. Looks like you can't handle criticism. And here Rachel had sent her a private message that said, "Leave me out of your attention-seeking games and go get some help, please. Clearly you're having some sort of breakdown again, and I understand, I've been there too, but this won't help. Please just go speak to your friends or family and calm down." Later on, Gabby took to her Instagram stories to call out Rachel Oates.
She was trying to deny the reason she deleted Twitter, so I actually want to let you know what happened. So we have a mutual friend who messaged her outside of me. I literally did not talk to him at all. He saw that she was doing, and he messaged her and he said, "Have some compassion. You've been the center of hate campaigns online. Leave this girl alone. Like, you're just bullying." And then she started a Twitter campaign trying to say that I manipulated her friend into defending me. That's how narcissistic and abusive this is, and how much she cannot accept any type of criticism, which is hilarious because she really thinks that I can't accept criticism, when the first time her friend confronted her about her shitty toxic behavior, she blamed me, the permanent scapegoat of the fucking internet, and then stopped talking to her friend. Face yourself, bitch. Like, that's crazy to me. And you know why she hasn't critiqued my work in months? Because the last couple times she did it, she started getting overwhelming hate from people both on the internet and in her real life, because people started to see through it. They were like, "Why are you still going at this girl? Like, relentlessly, she can't stop." And it's because when she talks about me, she gets hundreds of thousands to millions of views, and then she posts a little makeup get ready with me and gets 4,000. That's why she cares about my art. She's not a f***ing artist. I don't care about her f***ing opinion, because she has no accomplishments in art or has proven to me that she's actually intellectual enough to understand art. I accept my criticism from talented, smart people, not a toxic, exploitive bullies on YouTube. Hey Rachel, instead of hopping in my DMs trying to gas me from your own abuse, you could just apologize. I know that if I did anything like this, I would be called manipulative, sociopathic, narcissistic, attention hungry, money hungry, but that is you are. What you did was harass me for months, and then when you got called out of it, got super defensive. Like, you literally just ran away and blocked me instead of looking at your own criticism. You can't take criticism towards yourself at all. I've still never blocked you after all of the harassment. You can't stand even the tiniest ounce of criticism. You're a monster. You're a bitch. Narcissistic abuse. When somebody hurts you over and over and over again over a prolonged period of time, and then whenever you finally stand up for yourself, they say you're having a breakdown. Where the real narcissism comes in is she says I'm talking about her for attention. You mean Miss 4K views on your makeup tutorial? Miss 4K views on your commentary piece a week ago? Yeah, I just checked. I'm talking about you for attention? You talk about me, you get millions. I talk about you, I get still millions, but not because of you. The fact that she said attention-seeking games as if I've ever responded to her before. This is my first time responding to Rachel Oates. So what are my games? Is this a game, or am I just standing up for myself against the people who exploited and profited off of me for almost a year? What is it, you manipulative, narcissistic bitch? The problem is, and this is where narcissistic is, people think that they can say whatever they want about me and that I can't respond. I'm allowed to respond when I want. It took me a long time to heal and get better because there were mountains of happening to me from all directions at all times, and I couldn't go up against all of it. But right now, this morning, as people are tweeting about this shit, and it made me think about it, and it made me want to defend myself, I'm gonna defend myself. And you don't get to tell me I'm starting drama for finally responding to the months, the multiple videos, the millions of views, the tweets, the Instagram posts, the fact that you made a book. Actually, Rachel Oates, I'm actually not responding out of nowhere. I'm responding because you have 8 to 10 videos about me on your channel. You published a book mocking me. You tried to cause drama between my actual friend and I. You went on Twitter accusing me of manipulating friend into standing up against you. What else? Instagram posts, tweets. You're a manipulative bitch. I'm done dealing with it. Now, I was waiting for you to slow down so I could respond to everything at once when I was mentally strong. That doesn't mean I am having a breakdown. That actually means I'm finally healthy. You fucking sick, twisted bitch. I was done opening my mouth as long as she shut her mouth, and she can't, which is funny because she doesn't want me to respond, and she literally can't help herself from responding even though she's wrong. Anyways, for those of you who don't know, basically what happened was I published a book that was about childhood trauma, suicidal ideation, mental illness, mortality, amongst other things. It came out, it did great. It was a New York Times bestseller. It sold consistently $40,000 gross every single month for years. And then it was just doing really well. And then as soon as it was trendy to hate me because some person started some random lies about me that nobody cared to look into because...
So guys, everyone's saying that Rachel's review of Gabby's poetry isn't bullying. It's just criticism, because if people are paying good money for art, you can expect it to be open to public opinion. For example, this is an excerpt from Gabby's poetry book. Relative. Time is relative. Beauty is relative. Family is relatives. No, but in all seriousness, guys, Gabby loves her artwork so much, she literally believes that she is a walking, talking icon for creating stuff like this. Gabby then responded to what Rachel had said about the whole situation. Rachel had said, "By the way, I didn't delete anything, but some of my stories did appear when I blocked Gabby. That's on Instagram, not me. I stand by everything I said. I stand by every assessment I made of her writing, and I stand by the fact that she's acting like a child, bringing this all up out of nowhere. But I also stand by the fact I think she's having some kind of breakdown again. Not that this is a bad thing, but that it is a thing she needs to address. Like I said, I understand, I've been there too, but it's not okay to just start bitching about people and getting hundreds of your fans to tell me to kill myself. That's not okay. On the one hand, I hope Gabby gets the help and support from her family and friends. On the other, it's not my responsibility to offer that, so I'm just blocking and ignoring her and her incredibly toxic fans. That's all I'll say on this. I'm getting back to my life now." Gabby responded, "What a toxic, manipulative, ugly person. I can say that because she's ugly on the inside. Still can't believe she harassed me and mocked my trauma relentlessly, then tried to start problems in my personal life, then blocked me, then accused me of having a breakdown for holding her accountable. What a narcissistic." Angelica Oles then commented on the situation, which then of course caused Gabby to flip out and go off at Angelica. "I just think this is unnecessary. Say your part about criticism, hate, whatever you want to call it, but multiple tweets calling someone obsessive and a bully while being obsessive and a bully back is an interesting way to go about things. So standing up to a them, I'm the only person who's supposed to sit back and allow people to exploit and harass me, because if I defend myself, I'm a bully. What are you? Shut the F up, Angelica. Get back to law school. By the way, if you haven't figured it out yet, I'm done being silenced. If you personally feel scared about that, you should be scared." Gabby then posted a series of Instagram stories trying to expose Angelica Oles and accuse her of a bunch of stuff.
So today I'm on Angelica Oles because I think it's really weird that a grown woman consistently inserts herself into my life and situations always without knowing literally anything. So of course Miss Angelica, she can't help herself because she's desperate for attention, and she knows that my name gets her a lot of attention. Weighed in yesterday when nobody asked. And then I responded, and guess what? I'm malicious. I'm drama seeking. She inserted herself into a situation that had literally nothing to do with her. Okay, so here's where the shit gets a little bit froggy. A few years ago, I told a story about when I was in class and a girl, and I was telling it from my lens of being in class and having to be in lockdown and having one of my classmates wheeled out. Now, I told that story without considering the feelings of the family, and people called me out on that, and literally the next day or so, I contacted the mother, talked to her personally, apologized, and then a week later, on my next posting date, I uploaded an apology because it was the right thing to do. Now, Angelica, the manipulative that she is, tweeted the video from 4 years ago about the death and saying how f***ed up I am, but did not show the apology that I posted that's still up and has like 5 million views. Here's where it gets even more. So the sweet hypocrisy of all of this is Angelica actually started a campaign exploiting the Bianca Devins as a way to make money off of me. And the mother asked for an apology from Angelica. She called her out specifically and said that she felt exploited by Angelica. And the other drama channels too, that I literally can't remember most of their names. I remember Angelica because she started it. It's not a woman thing. She's on Twitter right now saying that I'm sexist for only talking about her, not the male creators. She's the biggest one, and she's also the one who started it, so she should apologize. So I apologized, Angelica. Where's your apology?
No one should be offended. No one should be. All these drama channels that are, you know, using Bianca for clout, it's absolutely ridiculous because that's all you're doing.
We are offended about, and you guys also should be.
Yeah.
Not about Gabby Hanna complimenting her.
Yeah, Gabby wasn't using Bianca for clout like all these drama channels now want to turn it into something that it's not. She didn't do anything wrong. And even though she didn't do anything, people were offended. She did reach out to me and Olivia and apologize, and we told her there's no reason for an apology because we don't see that you did anything wrong. We were absolutely not offended.
And she continued to post a 15-minute video about how she is sorry, which she did not at all have to do.
A reminder that this isn't me starting drama. This is me responding to abuse 2018, slanders and defamation since 2018, constant gaslighting, and consistently inserting herself into my life and drama. She inserted herself into this. I was speaking about my poetry and a situation involving my poetry and talking about the unfair criticism that women get, and Angelica inserted herself and said that it wasn't fair for me to call my bully a bully, because that's what narcissistic gaslighting abuse people do, is they want to say whatever they want, and then if you respond, then you're a bully. If you stand up to your bully, you're a bully. That's narcissistic abuse, Miss Ma'am. Instead of getting defensive and impulsively tweeting and deflecting on Twitter, she could just apologize. She could look inward at herself, decide the mistakes and hypocrisies that she made, and grow as a person. But instead, she's call me crazy, attention starting, say I'm having a breakdown because I can finally defend myself. That's narcissistic. Irony is, when I realized that I accidentally included the picture of a girl who happened to be murdered and I did not know about it, I tried to silently go in and blur it so it didn't draw attention to it and thus cause more trauma for the mother and family. And then they said that I was trying to run from accountability and make it seem like never happened and I can't own up to my actions. And then when the mother got on video and expressed that she felt exploited by people like Angelica, they went and silently removed the video and then never said anything about it again. Didn't apologize, didn't hold themselves accountable at all. They're just like hypocritical fake people who actually never cared about Bianca or her family and exploited me for money using Bianca. It's pretty disgusting. Apologize. Hold yourself accountable. I noticed that you posted a picture of a Tesla like right after and like during all that stuff. I know you made a lot of money. You could have donated any to Bianca's memorial fund and you didn't. You just ignored it. You're gross. I absolutely don't expect Angelica to apologize to the mother because she doesn't actually care about Bianca or her family. She just wanted views. She wanted to buy a Tesla. However, she brought up this morning on Twitter how women are unfairly and unjustly criticized in media and how she feels that she gets more unfair criticism than men on YouTube. And I just think that's such a laugh, like how unself-aware she is, that she spends literally all day critiquing people and has started so many smear campaigns against a woman, and she's so upset that she thinks women are getting unfair treatment. I agree. So stop contributing to that misogynistic culture. You said women get canceled for much less than men. Have you lost your mind, Angelica? You are saying that women get canceled for less than men?
After Gabby came for a few more influencers, she decided she was going to have a break from Twitter, but that break only lasted a couple of hours. Gabby keeps demanding apologies from anyone and everyone who's ever talked about her or her artwork, and it's not going down too well. Things are getting a whole lot worse because Gabby Hanna recently responded to this comment. Someone says she's trying to be the next Trisha Paytas, and now I can't stop seeing that. I'm like Trisha Paytas if she was talented and happy. Now, Trisha recently tweeted her thoughts on Gabby, and honestly, it doesn't sound like Trisha is that mad with her. Gabby is a very delusional person. I truly am like the secret fan of her content, but she tried to convince me for hours that we had exchanges that never happened. To me, I don't want to go back and forth with someone who needs help but won't get it. Seeing yet another mental breakdown for her is upsetting to me. I went on her podcast trying to do a restart for both her and me, and it just sadly didn't happen. She's not defending herself. She's being obsessive and defensive over the wrong stuff. I did a whole video this week on how I want to see Gabby have a redemption arc. I want to see her thrive. She has such a unique take on art. It's different, and more people would be open to it if she wasn't so destructive. I blocked her everywhere because I have no interest in the back and forth with someone delusional not seeking help. She voice memo me the other day. I have it. Of her admitting the story she tried to convince me that happened, in fact did not happen. So yeah, Trisha obviously wants Gabby to get the help she needs, but Gabby is not having a bar of it. Gabby then claimed in a live stream that she edited out parts of her last podcast with Trisha because Trisha was getting confronted about her lies.
Yeah, I know. She's a fake. She, like, after the podcast was acting like, I'm so happy that our beef is squashed. And then she went and lied about how the podcast was edited. But I'm just going to release the full podcast because, like, the parts that I removed out of the podcast were the parts where I was confronting her with the evidence that she was lying. So fucking annoying. I removed it for her. That's why it's extra obnoxious that she did that. She's actually obsessed with me.
Gabby also exposed past messages between herself and Trisha on TikTok recently, and things just aren't looking good.
Hey Trish, good morning. I also was hoping that we were going to move on after the podcast. I was really looking forward to that. But then the same day that the podcast went up, you posted 2 videos within an hour of each other calling me a liar and trying to make me look like a crazy delusional person and hating me. Like a lot. So I'm just going to show the evidence that you're lying. You were a much different person to my face than you were on camera, and a much different person than you're being now. So I'm just tired of you being a lying, manipulative, vindictive because you're afraid of what I know about you. So I'm just going to tell everybody what I know about you because I'm tired of protecting your secrets.
Okay, I just went to the bathroom. Bathroom break, Trisha unlocked. I am seeing a ton of Gabby comments, and it is really, truly nothing personal, but I've had her block for my own sanity and peace for myself since we did the podcast. I've been saying, and I'll continue to say this, that I wish her truly well. She seemed in a great spot when we did the podcast. She told me she had a recording contract and, you know, Peyton was lovely and stable and her house was beautiful. I've told her that I enjoyed her music, you know, Out Loud and Butterflies. She has a really interesting take on art and poetry. She's just a unique person out on the internet. All I was doing this week was trying to be her cheerleader of getting her a redemption arc. I wanted to see her thrive, and I felt like she just took huge steps backwards by being so defensive over things that didn't matter. And she could be such a powerful voice for things that do matter. So I obviously have heard some of the things she said just from going on my TikTok page and my Twitter, and obviously she hasn't been the nicest to me, but I'm just going to give her the benefit of the doubt that she's going through something. I, of all people, understand that more than anybody. But I guess she called me fake because I said I wanted to just squash the beef. And that's why I went to the podcast. It just cannot be squashed. I'm not being fake. Me and Gabby do not vibe. She is delusional. She spent the majority of the podcast trying to convince me that we were really close friends, and it was super awkward because, 1, I don't have a lot of close friends, but 2, it definitely wasn't Gabby. She brought up tweets from so long ago that there was one that I didn't remember, and then she's like, see, we are best friends. I was like, what? I apologized to her on the podcast. I was like, I don't want friends. I don't have friends. I said I was lying about the voice memo, but these are the voice memos. I will 1000% delete these TikToks in the morning, so just do with them what you will now. I don't want to go back and forth with someone who is delusional about the relationship between us. She's very clearly going through a manic episode when last night she tweeted that I was her bestie and I gave her great advice on the podcast and she was going to listen to it, which I thought great. To today, just, I guess, saying horrible things. I literally can't watch it because it will trigger me and I don't want to get triggered, and people know that I'm triggered easily. But here are the voice memos. On the podcast, she said that I invited her to Thanksgiving with my family, which I don't do with anyone because it's just my dad and my stepmom and my Uncle Joe, who had passed away last year. That's been my Thanksgiving for the past 20 years. But she spent the majority of that podcast trying to convince me that I invited her to Thanksgiving. I told her that that did not happen. She accused me of gaslighting her. I said I was trying to be respectful in her house and not argue with her. She said that was gaslighting. All right, part 3 will be the voice memo, sorry. She's saying this is all part of a show and she's doing this for attention or something. And like, if that's the case and that's the route she wants to go, I'm not going to judge her for that. But she's calling me a liar and stuff. Here's the voice memos. The next day, she sent these to me.
Oh, and I also wanted to quickly say the things that I was wrong about, because since I couldn't sleep last night, this was all I was thinking about. I just was kind of checking for myself. Something I was wrong about was, like, we definitely did not have Thanksgiving plans. Like, I went back and looked at that, and I definitely inflated that in my head, where it was more just like, I think you were spending Thanksgiving with Sean's family, and I said none of my friends were in town. You're like, oh my God, I wish I knew. I would have just like stayed home and we could have eaten together.
So that's when I knew I just wanted to distance myself from her. We weren't friends, and I don't know what else to say. She was just trying to convince me we were, and I was just like, but we were. And then she's like, I saw it different, and I was like, okay. If this is true, then good for her. You know, she got trending, and if this is the reputation she wants, or she wants to troll, or, you know, that's fine by her. I think my issue is when she starts calling people names and being really manic online because people are genuinely concerned for her. She calls me fake because I did want to squash the beef, but I couldn't get past her delusions. She said she edited the podcast for me, but I had no edits for her. I told her she could post whatever. She could post the whole thing, I didn't care. Like I said, well, me and Gabby don't see eye to eye and we just do not click. I still think she's a good creator. I still think she is unique enough and driven enough. She's obviously successful that I want to see her succeed. I did enjoy watching Gabby's content, but seeing her attack everybody is like so sad. Okay, I'm gonna go back to regular TikTok soon. Just know that I really want everyone to find peace of mind, because I know what it's like to have a mental breakdown. I know what it's like to be manic constantly, and it's really frustrating, and it's really difficult. It's literally like being a prisoner in your own head, and sometimes you think you've gone too far, so you just want to keep going and keep up the facade, or then you want to change the narrative in some way, and I know how that works. I still struggle. I'm struggling with voices in my head, you know? I think the bottom line is, like, seek help. To anybody now, I'm not just talking directly to Gabby. There's no shame in seeking help. I go to therapy 3 times a week, 2 individual and 1 group class, because I genuinely need it. I'm so tired of the highs and lows, the ups and downs, using the internet and social media as my therapist. It wasn't healthy. So there's no shame in getting help. In fact, people who seek therapists, even above normal people, probably have it more together. Elevate your life, do it for you. Seek therapy.
So what are you guys' thoughts on Gabby at this point? Let me know in the comments.